much rely for their ongoing business on being friendly with Tesco or Asda or whoever it may be, are very loath to complain. And so they prefer to try and negotiate things with Tesco, rather than saying this is unacceptable, I'm going off to the grocery adjudicator. But being, theoretically the advisor to Sainsbury, I would be arguing to the CMA, look, you don't need at the end of the day to worry about any adverse effect on suppliers, because the code of practice already protects them. And I think the CMA are almost bound to accept that point, because frankly, if they don't accept it, they're acknowledging that their own solution to the problem in the first place isn't working.
Understood. Can I actually take a step back? If there was not this grocery code of conduct, code of practice, and the adjudicator, would the power of would this be an issue? I guess such concentrated buying power in the CMA's eyes.
It could be. I think they would be thinking to themselves, does it give the combined Asda Sainsbury more buying power than Tesco's already have, having concluded, as I think one would be bound to, that yes, it does give them more buying power than Asda and Sainsbury independently have, although those parties might actually argue that's not the case, because they're already at the top end of their ability to exercise power anyway. But I think that were they to conclude that the code of practice isn't working, or to follow your line, let's suppose there wasn't a code of practice, I think the way that would be dealt with would not be by refusing to allow to proceed a merger that was otherwise okay to proceed. I think what they would do is to seek some form of behavioural undertakings in relation to that. But as I say, that's a bit theoretical, because the code of practice does exist.
Okay.
On that point, I suppose that any issues with suppliers, if they came to fruition, would be more difficult to remediate, right? Because it's not like you can just sell stores and fix the issue.
Well, that's why I say
behavioural.
It would have to be behavioural, and
but how do you in practice control that? What can you really do?
It's difficult, which is why the competition authorities don't much like behavioural undertakings, because someone's got to police them afterwards, and that someone generally has got to be the CMA. So what they much prefer is nice, clean, once and for all solutions. But that isn't to say that behavioural undertakings aren't ever regarded as having some potential to work and to be the right solution. But given the choice of a behavioural undertaking or a structural undertaking, they're clearly going to go structural any time.
Okay. What other issues do you see here? Are there other issues that we haven't spoken on?
I think the one other thing I would mention is the thing that apparently is particularly motivating this deal, and that is Amazon. My understanding, and I may be slightly out of date, but my understanding is that there is a good chance that Amazon are going to start online supply of groceries in this country. But they haven't done so yet. And the CMA is generally loath to take much account of the potential for new entry unless three boxes are ticked. First of all, it's got to be likely,